Yo, 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 yo. What up, what up, what up, everybody? Thank you for joining us on another Saturday night. I got my boy Leroy Green. This is the Weekend Rhyme. We appreciate you. You know, you could be anywhere in the world right now, but you're here rocking with us on a Saturday night, a Saturday evening.
Let's
Man, they
get
say
it.
life hits you fast, and it's been hitting us, man. We had some of the heavyweights in the game drop, go back, not even back to back. They hit us with a three-peat, Leroy. They hit us with a three-peat joint, man.
I'm
It was
liking it.
crazy. So I've been peeping this
I'm
since
liking
six
it.
o'clock, 6:18, 6:16 yesterday morning, 6 o'clock.
Yep.
Yesterday I had Squire hit me, had Super Duper hit me. You know, Mike and I have been in conversation, Leroy and I have been in conversation, the people have been in conversation. It's been interesting, man. But before we get started, because there's a lot to unpack, and Mike D will be calling in soon. There's a lot to unpack. I want to do some housekeeping things, right? Make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you support us. We appreciate the support. I see a lot of
Sure.
comments. We appreciate your comments, right? We sincerely appreciate your comments. We appreciate your feedback on the show. Again, we're expanding here at A2HH. We're going to have more shows to give to the people. This is just one of them. So we appreciate respectful critiques, but for the bots and the trolls that try to creep in at like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning and ask the same question that you already know the answer to, you will be removed. You will be blocked. That's some sucker shit. We understand what's going on. If you don't know where homeboy is at, maybe the new situation ain't connecting like it need to connect. But I
Hmm.
digress. We're gonna have a nice show today. Leroy, can I get started
What's up with
first? Or
it?
do you get started first? Getting into
You could
this Drake versus K Dot situation.
you could set it off, brother. I'm here with you. You can set it off though. You know
All
what I
right.
mean?
So 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 6:18, 6:16. I get a text from my boy
Mhm.
Vay. You saw Vay on the show that we pulled up on yesterday before all this, actually Thursday before all this stuff happened. And he was like, yo, you gotta hear this K Dot situation. And I heard it and I was like, yo, this is what I was looking for. This sounded like Section 80 Kendrick. This sounded like the K Dot without the vocal theatrics. This sounded like
Yeah.
Kendrick in his pocket. He was flowing. I love the soul sample. I'm a sucker for the soul sample. Shout out to Kanye, Pete Rock, RZA, all those dudes, Dilla. So that
Yep.
sample got me, right? The Al Green joint. And when I'm hearing him deconstruct Drake in a way that's not overly technical. It's not
Mhm.
overly preachy. It's just straight for the jugular, right? He's breaking them down, telling me he has leaks in his camp that he's going to excite it. I said, okay, now I can comfortably say, because I was waffling back and forth. I was like, you know what? I don't know who's in the lead right now. I don't know if Drake's up, but after
Yeah.
Euphoria came out, I was like, you know what? I gotta give the slight edge to K Dot. But I was waffling because as the days went on, I stopped listening to Euphoria less and less, and I was like, I wasn't comfortable saying that K Dot had the definitive lead. But when
Mhm.
he dropped 616 in LA, I'm like, yo, he's got it, man. It's nothing. I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen. He
Yeah.
hit him with a body blow. I'm like, okay, Drake's not
He did.
knocked out. He's staggering right now.
Oh
And
yeah.
then the night
Oh yeah.
happened. So I'm gonna segue to you, Leroy. What did you think when 616 dropped?
Well, 616 is the majority of my notes here, and I only have a page and a half of notes for the three songs. So it's not like I went crazy. I just pulled out the most important things or the things that stood out to me. But 616 is heavy, and it's just one verse. So potentially Kendrick got Drake staggering off just one verse. And for the people, you have two sides here. Now we're all one big community, right? But there are two sides. There's the Kendrick side, the Drake side, but in my mind, what that represents is the purest hip hop side and the more commercial mainstream side, right? So people are like, well, what is the lyricism going to be like? I wish that the lyricism could be at the forefront, but if we're going to get down and dirty, we're going to get in the mud, then let's get in the mud. But 616, just from the gate. Okay, you said something about the Al Green sample, so we're going back to the soul, the foundational soul of the situation versus what Drake is doing. Um, Still here, I see you. I am from California. I am a hip hop head, so yes, I do like Kendrick. I've enjoyed his music, but make no mistake about it. I think Drake is very, very talented. I think Drake has an awesome catalog with awesome delivery, with awesome cadences, different type of flows, awesome hooks. I think he's a great artist. So let's not ever get it twisted as if I would downplay Drake. However, things started to get a little messy. Since you're here, you know what I mean? This represents family, right? This is the most ancient of symbols of all symbols, right? Represents family. So when you go against family, people can do what they want. I'm not here to police language, right? But I would caution people to bring from bringing people's wives and children into a lyrical battle. Now, do it again. Do what you want to do, but I'm just saying. But okay, we start with the Al Green sample, the soul. 616. He wanted a quadruple entendre or whatever. 616. Many scriptures were brought out about it. Numerology is involved. We're going to deal with the number three, family. One, two, three, man, woman, child. We're going to deal with three, right? But after this verse, Kendrick, he's sneaky. If you don't know what Kendrick is talking about, you may think that Kendrick is just rambling off rhymes. Kendrick is a very skilled MC, and I do think he delivered, what could be the death blow. Now Drake can keep going because Drake is a great MC as well, but I've heard a lot of people talking about layers, so we're gonna go through the layers tonight, Ron. We're gonna go through layers. You know what I mean?
Let's go through the layers. So let's go through the layers. I think Mike D is joining. Hold on one second. Let's see if Mike D is jumping
Shout
on.
out
Hold on
Mike.
one second. But yo, 616. I got a lot of text about it, right? About the numerology, Corinthians, Proverbs. There's a lot of different scriptures that apply to it.
Revelations.
I like the sample. I thought this sounded like K Dot not doing all the vocal tricks. He was just hitting with bars, right? He was more relaxed. He sounded more confident. And as Mike D said, he was warming up. That first record, Euphoria, he kind of sounded off kilter. I still like the joint, but it didn't feel effortless to me, right? It didn't feel like he got into his pocket until we got into 616, right? And then the cover of 616 was pretty ominous, right? You just saw the gloves, right? You didn't know what it was referencing to, right? So I thought the joint was good. You can't go wrong with sampling Al Green either. You know what I'm saying? You can't go wrong with it. Hold on, let's get Mike D up in here. Mike.
Hey, what's up, gentlemen? You hear me?
Yes,
What's
sir.
good, man?
What's up with you?
What's good, brother?
I'm good, man. Happy Saturday. Shout out to everybody in the room, man. I love what you guys got going on with the weekend rhyme. I think this is dope. And
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
with all this activity we got going on in hip hop right now, it's definitely necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, where you at, man?
Right.
You hiding? Where you at? You in the car? Where you at?
I'm actually riding around, yes. You know what I'm saying? Riding around and getting it. You already know. Shout out to the people
Right.
out there. I know y'all got the room filled. I got a lot to say, man, but I know we're gonna
Yeah.
really build up on a lot for the Monday show. Mickey Fax was like, you know what, I'm there Monday. He apologized for not being able to make it Wednesday. Has family stuff to tend to. You got to do those things. And
Yep.
yeah, man, it's really heating up. And as Ron just said, when I heard K Dot on 616, I was like, okay, he's warming up, man. Like everything was
Oh yeah.
there on Euphoria, word wise, bar wise, but it's just his execution wasn't where I'm used to hearing Kendrick being at. And when I heard
Mm-hmm.
Kendrick on 616, he sound like wise, damn Kendrick. And then, you know, this I don't know if you guys gotten to the Meet the Graham song, but
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Oh
he's
yeah. We
warming
got
up.
there.
Yeah.
He was in rare
Okay,
form in
yeah.
616.
He's in
Rare
rare
form,
form on
rare form. Mad
616.
Max with the super chat says drop the link. Mad Max, we're gonna drop that link in a second. We're gonna drop that link in a second. Jermaine Johnson with the super chat says, "Thank you, Jesus, for distracting the world with this rap beef instead of my terrible playoffs performance." Prayer
Yeah, right.
emoji, James Harden. Yeah, that's correct. Dallas got them boys up out of there, man. James Harden.
We knew that was gonna
I
happen.
mean, we know that it's like a reoccurring theme. It's like the holidays, Christmas and Thanksgiving. James Harden getting bounced out of the playoffs. That's nothing new, guys.
No,
Nothing new.
you know what? We ain't gotta just put it on James Harden, man. This nigga Embiid, man. Man. And James Harden washed. It's fine. It is what it is. We expect that. Embiid's in the prime of his career and he getting bounced, man.
Crazy,
Terrible.
Right.
crazy. But Mike, I know you want to cook on Monday, man. What did you think of the 616 record? Your initial thoughts?
My initial thoughts was, man, I like where Kendrick vocally is going and sounds. It's vicious. It's he's getting straight to the core with it. Now, I I didn't expect. All right, this is my thing with the 616. I think it's a great follow up, and I'm glad that he came with a second record because I think a lot of us probably thought Euphoria was a one off until we got a response from Drake. And what Kendrick showed us in 616 is, yo, I can follow these up quick too. Now I know there
Mhm.
was a rumor that he had these records in the stash for like 4 years or whatever. I don't feel like 616 is one of those. But if we're talking about Family Matters, I feel like he heard. I'm not Family Matters. We're talking about Meet the Grams. I feel like Kendrick heard Family Matters well before we heard it, and it sounds like a very calculated response to that record specifically. So I do believe the leak thing, and saying all that to say, going back to 616, he's warning everybody or warning Drake in front of
Mhm.
everybody about the leaks, right? And so when Drake finally drops this record, to me it solidifies this whole leak thing with A, the artwork, with the lost luggage, and B, how quickly he was able to respond to a record that sounds like it was a direct response to that record, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So
Mhm.
some people thought the record was weak. They thought the
Which
record
one?
wasn't. They thought that the Meet the Grams was weak. They thought it was a little too. The beat wasn't good. I think Alchemist did the beat right. The beat
Yep.
wasn't good. They thought that it was a little bit too melodic, and they thought Kendrick went a little low. Going talking directly to the Drake's children. What's your thought on that?
We're gonna go further into this on Monday, but I will say this: I don't think we've ever had a high level back and forth. And correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, where an artist uh, called another artist a pedophile straight up. You know what I'm saying? Like that's those serious allegations and serious,
Right.
potential charges. So if people have a problem with that and it's out of line and it's not factual, yeah, I could see that. And the other thing is too, man, I hope that Kendrick didn't make up this daughter situation because to me, I think that is that'll make you lose a back and forth if you have to make up things, right? Because at that point, if you make up something that big, what else have you made up? So I do think that somewhere down the line, this alleged daughter may need to be produced. But other than that, if everything that Kendrick's on is factual with the personal stuff, then this is a heavy record, including the pedophile thing. But I think that's a serious charge to put on somebody.
Well, I don't think Drake is out here doing that, but people got a problem with him dealing with young women. They're of legal age, as far as I know. I wouldn't get into that, but it's just how he's moving. I think people have it smells of a certain type of person. I
Right.
wish,
And
yeah,
I think Kendrick has enough words in his arsenal to be able to say that without saying it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that maybe the directness of, such an allegation like that, people can have a problem with. And I can understand that.
mm,
But, they say everything's, all fair in a battle, but this has gotten, really personal for
yeah,
people who know each other personally. And it does seem like it was literally 7 to 10 years in the making. I think Kendrick's been wanting to say these things and been
right.
wanting to produce this type of evidence, if you will, in front of the public. You could tell he does despise the man. I mean, I can hear that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah.
deep, man. It's deep, man. Some people were saying the rules were back in the day, no women, no children. But I guess in 2024, the gloves are off, man. All is fair. You know what I'm saying? But
Nah, man, nah. That's the era I'm from. The era I'm from is no women and children. When we spin the block to hit you, we hit you. We don't hit the
Yeah,
women and the children outside.
yeah, we
I
don't hit
agree. Because at
mothers, we
this
don't hit
point, it gets
aunties, we hit dudes straight up. You know what I mean? We don't
Yeah,
hit the kids, man. That's what I was brought up on. But maybe times
right.
are different now. Maybe you go after kids, you go after wives, you go after mothers, aunties, and all that. I don't know.
well, Drake's been notorious for doing that. So Drake is kind of the
Yeah.
one that brings those into the fold. I don't correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think he was the first one to do it in this back and forth, but he usually does bring the women into the fold. He's notorious for that.
Well, that's the
But
women.
I agree with you guys. I think it should be between the two men. And unless there's like a public allegation out there, or there's something that Kendrick wants to produce that could be factual, it's hard to put those things in record, but it's happening, and I think that
Yeah.
as well researched as somebody like Kendrick seems to be, I think he has a lot more stuff to bring to the fold, and I don't think that he's just going to put things out there like that without some sort of basis. He does have a reputation to uphold as well, so.
Yep,
I,
no doubt. It's interesting, man. But say that being said, Mike, I align with you, brother. I like the record. I thought 616 was the best in the bunch until
oh yeah.
later that evening. What's that little meme go? A few moments later, I saw Act turning up on Rumble and YouTube, and he dropped that
Right.
Family Matters joint with the video. It had a video too. It was like some Michael Jackson shit, right? It had a video. You know what I mean? And I liked the record. It was a 3-parter, and it was and
Yeah.
they say it's a leak. They say it's a leak in OVO camp. It sounded like he knew some information about unless he recorded it that day. It sounded like he was responding to some of the things that was on, and maybe I'm reading it too deeply. It sounded like he was responding to some of the things on Meet the Grams. That's what it sounded like to me. We can go through the bar work in a minute, but that's what it sounded like to me. It was a preemptive strike because he says on one bar, you need to, if you got some tea, you need to produce the receipts or something like that. So we're not going to believe you. Something to that effect. So I'm thinking there's leaks on both sides here. That's what I'm thinking. Let's get to the super chats real quick.
Yep.
We got Jermaine Johnson with the super chat. Absolutely, someone in OVO is working for KDOT. It seems like it with the stolen luggage, like Mike said, with with some of the information that's being revealed. It sounds like there's a leak. Dakin Cass says Kendrick can't make up stuff, but Drake writers can. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. And then we got Jermaine Johnson again. Dot called Drake a pedophile and alleges a secret child, and Drake responds on IG by only denouncing the secret child. Bro, what? That's interesting. It's interesting. I don't know.
Hold on. What was made up on Drake's end? Brief me up on that. Because I'm trying to think, as the super chat was saying, what did Drake make up about Kendrick?
If Drake is saying, your child is not really your child, it's Dave Free's child, that could be.
Oh yeah. I got you. Yeah,
right.
that's there.
Right.
Yo, so when Family Matters dropped, it was neck and neck for me, and it slightly put Drake ahead because I liked the switch because he upset you, Mike. I'm sure with his first his first bar, right? He did exactly what I thought he was going to do. He didn't step away. He didn't go into like the cultural situation. Right. He touched on it a little bit, but he didn't really overly prove himself to Kendrick. He said, "Yo, this is what I am. I'm gonna say what I want to say. This is the pocket I'm in." He crushed the van.
I expected him to do that though.
I mean, I thought he addressed the Michael Jackson on the third part. He talked about he might be Prince. You know what I'm saying? Because Drake's the one K-Dot's the one that's trying to make these folks dance on these records with Taylor Swift and Maroon 5. I thought it was interesting how you got in. I slightly put him ahead when that came out. And then 45 minutes later, you got to Meet the Grams.
Well, and I don't want to talk about this in length on the show Monday, man. I need to know where Kendrick's mindset is when it comes to Michael Jackson, man. Because it sounds like he's continuously shitting on Michael Jackson, and I'm not cool with that.
Who, even Drake? Though I think
K-Dot. Kendrick.
K-Dot, right? Yeah.
Yeah. He's and let's not act like he hadn't had conversations with Quincy Jones. I've seen him in the Quincy Jones documentary interviewing Quincy Jones. I'm sure he's asked him questions about Michael. I know that him and Prince had a relationship. I'm sure he's asked him about Michael. But I would like to know where Kendrick's mindset is as it regards to the great Michael Jackson, because based on this back and forth, it doesn't seem like he holds him incredibly high.
We're gonna get into it. Because I think when I think we're going to talk about layers, metaphor, entendre, triple, quadruple, super layered entendres, right? And I think Kendrick looks at Michael Jackson as a performer. So yes, you have Michael Jackson, the man, but what he stands for is a performer. That's who Mike was. So that it can apply to everyone who puts performance on a high pedestal. You
Do
know?
you think it might be one of those things? And I know rap and singing's different. Prince is a writer, and maybe he's correlating Michael and Drake to not writing sometimes and having other people write for them other times. Because Michael did write some things, but a lot of
Right.
things were written for Michael, and maybe that's his correlation. But the
Right.
big time overshadowing correlation is when you throw that pedophile thing out there. And you know what some people think of Michael Jackson and the allegations that were up
Yeah.
with him, and then you correlate that to what he's saying about Drake. I don't know if that's where he's, making his correlations,
I don't
but
think so.
I mean,
I
it's
don't think so.
coincidental, and I
Yes.
would like to hear, from Kendrick,
Now,
like, his thought process on Michael Jackson and his legacy.
Well, Mike,
yeah.
Mike, before you go, Leroy, the most vicious Michael Jackson bar actually came from Drake. If on
Right. Yeah.
you
Right.
know what I'm saying? He was actually saying, "I'm Prince. I'm not Michael," because Michael was the one who changed his features to appeal to the whites. Like he's comparing Michael to Kendrick on the joint, so he kind of flipped it. So that was the most disrespectful one for me. Let's get to the couple more super chats real quick, and we'll go to it. I hate word on the streets, but this one says word on the street. The mother was a minor at the time and signed an NDA. Drake made a post on IG saying, "Come forward," knowing that they can't. That's interesting. That's cold. That's cold. That's cold.
Okay.
Mad Max with the super chat. How can what's it say? How can the mom be a minor when they say she worked at a club as a bartender? You can't be a minor as a bartender. Interesting point. Interesting point. Who knows, man? It's all rumor and innuendo. That's why I don't like. That's why I always
Right.
go get away from all that, man. Just rap bar to
Yeah.
bar. Saying go bar to bar, man. We can't
Yeah,
rap.
this is getting messy for sure.
And I'm not going to get on the messy stuff. I don't know these women. I don't know them, so I can't speak on people's family, the women they deal with, the children they deal with. I'm going to speak about the bars and the songs, but as far as the personal stuff, I'm not speaking on that.
Yeah.
Me either. I agree.
Yeah.
It's
Because
all
I don't
good.
know.
It's all good. We got Jarv in the chat. He said it's an important issue. Which issue is important, Jarv? The Michael Jackson, the colorism, the cultural, because I think he touched on a lot of things on what's the first Euphoria, right? He talked about the American versus Canadian angle, the Black American appropriation. I think Super Duper touched on that last time. Talk about Drake's an imposter syndrome, coming to America, jacking our slang. So there's a lot of different elements to kind of touch on, right? The Michael Jackson versus Prince, the artist versus the pop star, making cultural substantive music over like dance records for the girls. But then it got really personal, these last records, right? We talk about people's manhoods, how their manhood, how they raise their families, how they deal with their women. It's a difficult situation. But again, at the end of the night, even with Meet the Grams, I still had Drake slightly ahead.
Really? I got
Where
Kendrick ahead right now, man. I Meet the Grams is tough. Until proven otherwise, until any of this stuff is proven not true. I know everything in this record doesn't have to be true, but when you get this serious, I think that, some things have to kind of be proven with some basis, because people can say anything at that point. Now, if you want to say your bodyguard's Uchiwali verse is better than yours, that's different than saying you got an 11-year-old daughter out here that you're hiding, and I'm sitting here talking to her, telling her to live her life. You know what I mean? Like, that's different.
Yeah, it's different. It's different. But Drake, on the second part of the record, Family Matters, Drake did get into that little drill element I talked about a few shows ago. He got into that UK drill bag, you know what I mean? And he kind of addressed some other words to some other people. He addressed Rick Ross, and was crazy because
ASAP got astray, man. God damn, man. He hit ASAP pretty hard.
That's personal. I think he got some feelings for Riri or something, man. He called.
Well, why would you hit there though? Because you hitting Rocky like, oh, you smashed my baby mom's first, but Drake hit Rihanna first. So, but I begin.
Rocky set himself up for that play though. Rocky set himself up for that play. He opened himself up for that. You know what I mean? But then Drake got nasty with it. He got lyrical with it when he called her by his nickname. That was kind of grimy.
No, that's his real name. His real name
he called a nickname in the joint. He was like, let me pull up the lyric. He said, what did he say?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, well, the thing is, man, he is right. Unfortunately, man, like ASAP is known more so for fashion now as opposed to music, and and
Yeah,
I can't
he kind of
refute
came in the
that.
game
Again,
like that.
those are facts,
It seems like
ASAP
Rock.
is a fashion guy.
It seems like
ASAP
Rock.
is a fashion guy that raps.
and it's unfortunate because ASAP's music is awesome to me. I think
He's
he's one of the
fashion
most
first, rap is
underappreciated
second.
people. I
Yeah.
think he's one of the most important, most underappreciated MCs in his class.
Yeah, but like Pharrell though, the reason why we mess with ASAP is because of the fashion. The reason why I mess with ASAP is because he was speaking on the fashion,
Not me,
and the
guys.
Houston
Like
and
me.
the Houston culture. He was speaking on Houston culture and fashion. If he wasn't speaking on that, what would he be talking about? Because
I liked his sound. I liked his flow and all of that. But I mean, he ain't dropped an album. If we
yeah,
being real about it, he ain't dropped the album since 2018. So
mm,
that's 6 years ago, and nobody's complaining. At that point, yeah, people don't look at you as an artist anymore
right.
because if anybody else took a 6 year break, everybody would be up in arms about it.
Crazy,
They
crazy,
rapping. They rapping now. They out here. They outside now.
crazy.
Outside,
Dakin Cast with the super chat says Drake disrespecting Michael iconography, not Dot. Interesting.
they
Colin
both
Cooper.
have been disrespectful. Let's keep it a buck.
Collis Cooper with the super chat says the 11-year daughter is a play on Millie Bobby Brown, who plays 11 on Stranger Things, and they were texting a lot when she was 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
if
so is that the cop out to say that it's not a real daughter? It's somebody that he's that he's putting in that position as a metaphor? Come on, man, we can't do that.
I think he may be talking about some real stuff. I mean, and again, maybe he heard it from someone in Drake's camp. I don't know. As far as the Michael Jackson situation, I also would agree with Kendrick. If I looked at rap and I had to say, well, who's the Michael Jackson of rap? I would say it's Drake. So I can agree with Kendrick on where he puts Drake as far as hip hop is concerned, because I look at Drake as if he's Michael Jackson. If he's not Michael Jackson, who is he? Because he drops #1 hits every other day. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm exaggerating, but you know what I mean.
But yeah,
He's
if
a
we're
hit
talking
maker.
about performance on the
Yeah,
charts and things of that nature and popularity and all that, it's no question that he's that. And I will give Kendrick that. Now Kendrick doesn't make the quote unquote, I guess, radio hits, but the fact
right.
that he's such a fiscally successful artist and an incredibly successful touring artist, his
Mhm.
albums are highly regarded. Yeah, he would be Prince in that comparison.
And he would be, and because of that touring success, and because of that, I would put him as Prince. I would put it, and I think artists should look at that as if because a lot of artists, we're going to deal with what comes with the industry, because a lot of what's being said may not be what Drake did personally, but what he represents is an overindulgence in commercialism, and what comes with that is a lot of demons. So if someone wants to just go on their own and create a touring or a show enterprise like Prince and like Kendrick and like other artists who lean on their shows, then you don't have to deal with the industry. You could lean on your shows, and then you could sidestep the industry and still make the same money.
No doubt. Yo, Super Duper's in the building. What's good, brother?
I'm gonna go through 616 though. I'm gonna go through these songs, but
Yo,
What's happening? What's happening?
what's
What's
happening?
happening, Super Duper? What's happening?
What's
Hey,
on your
all I
mind?
gotta say is I was really, really trying to keep it PG. Hey, that was corny, man. The Drake song was corny, man.
Hey, Super Duper.
Can y'all hear me?
I didn't
He's
like that
stupid.
either, Super Duper. I'm with you.
Was that Pusha T?
Can y'all hear me?
Was that corny too?
Yeah.
Was that corny? Was that corny too? That Pusha T
Pusha
joint.
T.
Was that corny?
Hey, it was super whack, man. I mean, it wasn't corny compared to what he was trying to say.
Right.
I mean, the Drake line where he was saying that you want to come get Pharrell legacy back, come get it out of his house. That was corny too. It's a lot of corny lines in that Drake song, man. The best verse is the second verse, that he got, but it's nothing that Kendrick in there. He going at Rick Ross and everybody else.
I
Drake
agree.
need to take this beef
I'm
more
with Super
serious, man.
Duper on that. I'm with Super Duper on that. I
I
think Drake
agree.
needs to have a record that's totally focused on Kendrick. Leave everybody out. It's a distraction. Go at Kendrick because he's going at you. Them other people, they ain't going at you like that, and nobody even
Right.
cares what they saying like that. To be
That was
honest,
freestyle, Mike. That was solely
I
for
mean,
Kendrick.
who was he battling? It sounded like he was battling K. Dot wife. Like he was going at K. Dot wife more than he was going at K. Dot. And then you got your white mom on the beginning talking about I don't think you should start this song. Like that was corny as hell. The rapping like you trying to free the slaves line was corny. This is exactly why K. Dot should be at him. Like he tone deaf, man. Like
no, rapping like you trying to free the slaves. Are you acting like an activist? Is Kendrick acting, or does his albums from Section 80, Good Kid, Mad City, to Pimp a Butterfly, Damn, and all, does it speak to an activism? That's in his music. So is he acting or is it real? It's real to me.
and I'm gonna
it don't
say
matter,
this
man.
too.
Just
I'm sorry,
go ahead,
Super
Mike.
Duper. I wanted to say this
Nah,
real
you got
quick
it, Mike.
though.
You got it.
Is Drake even in position to question Kendrick's activism? Just like I was thinking, like was Drake in position to even question
No,
Pusha T's streak acumen? Like, are you
no.
even in a position to question his activism? Because what have you done on those ends?
You never gave us nothing to believe in. This is what Drake said on the last song on Meet the Grams. Why should we believe you? You never gave us nothing to believe in. You're also questioning Kendrick's G card. Is Kendrick really gangster? Does being a good kid in Compton mean you're not gangster? Because in California, if you don't claim a gang, it could be very messy for you because now you have to take the fade with multiple gangs. So, you need to know what you're talking about if you want to get into this gangster shit, especially in California. I mean,
Man, the short jokes was corny as hell too. Like more short jokes. That was whack, man.
yeah,
The body trying to find out what Whitney needs line. That was all. It was all just corny, man. I don't know what nobody hearing that y'all heard that got Drake up from that. And then the third verse he sang, like I don't know what y'all was hearing, man. But I'm not gonna act like Meet the Grounds is some type of groundbreaking
right.
song either. You know what I'm saying? But it was vicious and it was spooky
Hey,
and it was like it
yeah,
reminded me
it was
of
spooky.
the Saw
It was
movies,
spooky.
man. Like it was Saw 9. Like he had Drake whole
Yeah,
family in one of them puzzle
it was.
contraptions and
Yeah,
he was talking to him like Jigsaw.
it was Weinstein's. It was Weinstein Epstein spooky, right? And we're talking about, what Kendrick represents and what Drake. I wish I had the intro to a written testimony right now playing in the background because what Kendrick represents versus what Drake represents, and it may not be Drake's fault, but this is what's on the table. We talking about layers here, right? So, Drake has great delivery. He has great songwriting. He has great beats. So when you're feeling Drake's song, I understand because this man has checked the boxes on what it is to deliver a great song. So but Kendrick, he's not trying to he don't care about being cool to you. He don't care about being your most vibey rapper. He's like, look, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, all right, whether you like it or don't like it. And that's what it is.
That's what it is. Let's jump into super chats real quick. We're a little bit behind right now. Where we at? Mad Max with the super chat. The MJ of rap is LL Cool J. The Prince of rap is KRS-One. Both these guys, Drake. And Dot ain't MJ or Prince. Drake is CB. Dot is Frank Ocean. Mad Max, they dropped that link. Link coming, Mad Max. Shoot me your math, man. We're gonna get you in here. Jermaine Johnson on the super chat says May 3rd,
Drake is MJ.
never submitted in hip hop history. That is a fact. They went 3-peat on it real quick. Dakin Cast with the super chat says the truth is in the music is activism within itself. That's a good point.
Exactly. Is Kendrick supposed to go outside and physically sacrifice himself to prove his point, or is he supposed to rap? We're into Kendrick because he raps. So when he raps, when you talk about Section 80, right, and you're talking about a Messiah complex, and I'll call it a complex for lack of a better term, right, with Kendrick and the Crown of Thorns or whatever. A Crown of Thorns is a double entendre. And if anybody in the chat can figure that out, I'll send you some paper or something. But he's not acting. He's not acting. When he talks about Section 80, there was a full-fledged attempt to stop Black people from procreating in the 80s, which he's talking about. And this is and it's in the files, in the FBI files, all that, to stop the rise of another Black Messiah. What are they talking about? They're talking about stopping the child who may come out and draw upon the power of God to speak to the people, to mobilize them. So Kendrick is not acting. He is him. And I'm not saying he's some anointed person over you, the person that's watching. What I'm saying is he was probably educated on his religion, on what he stands for, and now he's putting that in the music to facilitate helping the people. So I don't think
Leroy,
that's
man,
fake.
you ain't got to go too far, man. You're going too far.
Leroy,
Hey, I gotta ask y'all this though. Do y'all think that damn, I forgot what I was gonna say. Leroy, you was getting wild.
I'm telling you, it's layers. It's layers.
Damn, I forgot what give me a second, y'all. I'll come back to it.
Come back to it. Kendrick said a lot. In 616, he talks about the numerology of 616. Then he goes into the trifecta of money, morals, and culture. So it's not just money with him. It's morals and culture. So what are we talking about? He talks about if I lose, it's still an opportunity. So that's just like Jay says, even in a loss, it's a valuable lesson learned. If you lose a battle, it just makes you a stronger MC anyway. He talks about angels. What are angels? Angels are people that are a connection from one side to the other. There's double entendres is there with Raphael, with different angels. He talks about payola with academics being compromised. Well, a lot of these people that get in front of this camera, they are compromised. I'm not going to name any names, and it's not any of people that are my brothers in the pod space, but a lot of y'all are compromised because I know y'all work with Drake. I ain't going to name your names, but I know y'all get gifts from Drake. I know y'all go to Canada and hang with Drake. Then you get on these pods and you take his side automatically with this vibe music and escapism. You know what I mean? So this is bigger than what people think it is.
This is what I was gonna say. And this is for everybody on the panel. Does Drake lose points because Kendrick predicted everything he was gonna say? I mean, he already said that he was gonna use Mr. Morale as pretty much his talking point. Kendrick pretty much predicted everything, and then that leak or that mole that they got in the camp. I mean, he got to definitely have a mole in the camp because it's like Kendrick knew exactly what he was gonna talk about with that song. Like he almost knew the lyrics of that song already. Like he had already got the first copy of it before it even dropped, and he had a song ready for it.
The leak.
You might lose some points, super duper, but I think there may be a leak on both sides. There may be a leak on both sides. So we got to dig deep a little bit and see maybe there's a leak. Because I thought I heard some bars on the Drake joint that led me to believe that he anticipated some of those bars on Meet the Grams. That's what I heard. I got to go back and just take another look at it. But I think there may be a leak on both sides, man. We got my man Esquire in the building. He couldn't wait till Monday. He's been hitting me. I was telling Mike.
I was gonna say, like what?
Esquire's in the building. Esquire, what's on your mind, sir? You on mute, bro?
What's up, brother?
You on mute?
Oh man, the anticipation, waiting for what Esquire has to say, man. I'm looking forward to what you got to say, Esquire.
Esquire in here. They want Esquire in here. We're gonna get Mad Max.
Esquire, you there? Okay. Your sound there?
Yo, can y'all hear me?
There it is. What up, Esquire? How's it going, bro?
I'm good, man. Glad to be here, man. I had to get my volume right. First and foremost, I want to say, man, this is an exciting time in the game. It really is. It's a lot of stannery on both sides, and I think Leroy spoke to it earlier when he said this really represents a larger divide in the game between the two factions of hip hop. You got your purists that just love all the bars, the concepts, the layers, and then you have those that want the entertainment value, the bankers. So with that being said, when the smoke clears, there is not going to be a consensus winner. I think the winner is the culture. It's going to be, people on both sides are going to be pleased with what they've got in their favorite artists. I want to give that first and foremost. So it comes down to what you prefer, and that's going to guide your criteria. For me, I know a lot of people see me as a hip hop purist. I see myself as that too. But being a purist, I recognize the origin of where this thing comes from. The battle comes from a live setting. And a live setting, as clever as entendres are, and deep concepts, and just literary devices in general, those elements don't translate nearly as well in a live setting when it's predicated on getting a live reaction from the crowd. That is just a fact. Now, if we want to sit down and talk about an album that everybody has had time to sit in the studio and construct, sure, that's a fair comparison. So when we're talking about bars that pierce and resonate on first listen, that favors Drake all day long. Drake is the king, whether we love him or hate him. Drake is the king of those one-liner captions that people wear out to death, whether we hate him or not. We recognize it. Super duper. Feel how you feel about the hook about I was trying to keep it PG being corny. I understand that. Drake leans into the corniness. It is now May 4th. This summer, I've been trying to really been trying to keep it PG. Is going to be a caption that you are going to see over and over and over and over, which speaks to the impact. It's not just about whose bars are wittier and who's clever. And we're not going to act like Drake didn't bar up on this last record that he just put out, because he did. I think what we've really gotten from this is that Drake has brought Kendrick back outside to release music more, consistently. And I think Kendrick has made Drake realize, like, hey, if you're really trying to be in this conversation, there's a level that you need to reach. You need to tap back into that pocket. So
let me say this though, Esquire. He did bar up, right? Drake did bar up because Drake is a great song maker. So he did bar up. But when you talk about the entendres, even though it doesn't hit people directly, when they go back, because people are going to go back and reference this battle for years to come, and they start digging into the double meanings of what Kendrick was saying. Yeah, it doesn't win now, but later, when we look back, they're going to say Kendrick was saying a lot with a few bars. You can say a lot with 8 bars. I could say an album's worth of stuff with just 8 bars.
Mm-hmm. Can I respond to that, Leroy? All right, you a Jay fan, and if you're a Jay fan that feels like Jay is the GOAT over Nas, that's one of the arguments you're gonna make, is that less is more. Jay-Z says less with more words. He can employ all the same literary devices and not be nearly as wordy. However, when we're talking about going back, and we're talking about a diss record, we're not just talking about which song or which lyrical performance is better in a vacuum. We're talking about diss records. Name me one diss record that you didn't find to be genuinely entertaining that you could revisit on a regular basis.
I'm agreeing with you.
Hold on. Let me complete this thought. Ether checks that box. Takeover checks that box. No Vaseline checks that box. Hit 'em up. Dollars and Cents. Second Round Knockout. All of these are genuinely entertaining records. You want to know a song that's layered and has entendres in it that nobody really goes back and listens to except purists, and it's probably the vast minority of listeners. That's Lupe Fiasco going at Royce da 5'9". Very vicious diss record. But would I put it in a heavyweight class with any of those records I just named? No.
I'm agreeing with you.
And why didn't it have the impact? Partially because the artists are not nearly as big as the artists we're talking about right now, but it's the approach. So ultimately, the thing that I'm seeing when I said it was some it's bias. We're all biased. It's fun. It's hip hop. We all got favorite artists, but we have to try to get past the bias, and we have to try to apply the standards fairly. Because I'm seeing a lot of people that are holding Drake to Kendrick's standard, but they don't want to hold Kendrick to Drake's standard. They hold Drake to the standard of having these intricate bars and not doing anything that's surface level or corny, and being about the people and showing that you're about the movement. And he also poked a lot of holes in Kendrick's credibility, if we really want to get to it. I want to get to it in a minute. But we don't hold Kendrick to the standard of making a palatable, catchy record that people are going to remember without all of the smoke and mirrors.
I agree.
Without all the fire concepts, without him writing a letter breaking down Drake's family and all. That's great. I'm not trying to say these are not great records. I'm just saying that it's substance over style. But in a battle arena, style matters just as much as substance. There has to be balance. And right now, I think Drake has released better records. That's just my personal record.
Leroy, before you cook real quick, let me go to the super chats. Mad Max, the crown of thorns is blasphemous. He mocked Christ. I don't care how anyone dices that. No real Hebrew Israelite does that. OJ Weston, Mad Max with the super chat again says Drake predicted what Dot was going to say. He did that on Taylor Made. That's what I was saying. I think I heard that. Exactly. OJ Weston with the super chat says, fellas, can we get a Drake K-Dot station head? Yeah, man. I talked to Mike. Mike and I talked about that. Mike's got an idea about doing this on Rumble. We might do that, man, in a couple of days, man, to really get to the music. Let's see how the music
Now,
stack K Dot versus Drake. You know, so we might do that on Rumble or whatnot. But we'll let y'all know. Station Head or Rumble. We'll get it popping. Leroy,
I will
on
I will agree. Yeah, no, go, Ron. I feel, but I will agree with what Esquire is saying. I will agree with the other sentiments that I've seen in social media about what takes your attention, what immediately hits you like pow and gets your attention. Like, and I understand that. I don't think we've seen a Kendrick before. So when we're comparing Kendrick to other people, I don't think we've seen a Kendrick. And I think all the other beefs that we go to, I think they were like, they had like some personal malice. Like when I see this person in public, I'm gonna really break his jaw, or I might just pop this person. Kendrick and Drake is not really that, but Kendrick's style of lyricism in a battle, I don't think we've seen that before. So I think when Kendrick comes with a particular style, yes, it's not going to hit you over the head like Drake saying, "Hey, you ain't no real gangster like Chuck T." But what Kendrick is saying speaks to a multi-layer of things that I think later when people learn, I think my job here in my mind is to try to take it from one level up to another level. And what Kendrick does from his reputation and history that we've seen, he raps from another level, right? So for one instance, when people say a crown of thorns is blasphemous, well, a crown of thorns is just it's just an object. So you're putting your personal feelings on an object that was used to torture someone because no one wants a crown of thorns on their head. However, a crown of thorns has multiple meanings. So if you're going to throw it out there, address all the meanings. You know, and Kendrick addresses multiple meanings, whereas Drake doesn't. So if the two do a song, yes, Drake will have the better song because he's a better performer, but the better writing will be in Kendrick's corner.
Let me respond to that, Leroy. And I do agree with what you said about we've never seen an artist like Kendrick because Kendrick is so creative that he kind of changes the standard. Hip hop evolves, and the battle has evolved as well. The battle started, you want to go back to Busy Bee and Kool Moe Dee. I just saw somebody say that palatable rhyming is not MCing. That is false. And if you know your history, you know that Busy Bee was not the most grand lyricist in the world. That was the first hip hop battle that actually made its way onto wax. If you know that, you understand that's the origin of it. You can't leave it out. We can't just act like it's just rhyming. But what you just said, Leroy, is true. Kendrick is kind of evolving the standard to now, talk about how creative can you be. It doesn't have to be the most hard-hitting beat or, I can rap over an abstract beat. The Alchemist beat that he rhymed over with Meet the Grams it's dope because Alchemist is one of the best producers of all time. And it really had to grow on me. But it's not one of those instant kind of catch your attention type of records. However, I will say this about Kendrick. And even though he slightly changes the standard or has changed the standard somewhat, I can't absolve him of proving that he can check that core fundamental box. We talk about Nas, one of the most conceptual MCs, prolifically conceptual MCs ever. I Gave You Power, Last Words, Rewind, Project Roach. You know what I'm saying? Money Is My... You name any type of concept record you want. He didn't take that angle with Jay-Z, though. Personal animosity or not. When Jay-Z said, is it Dame Diddy? When Nas said, is it Dame Diddy, Dame Daddy, or Dame Dummy? I get it, you Biggie, and he's Puffy. That's direct, to the point, piercing. And that line hit just as hard when I hear it in my headphones 23 years later as it probably sounded live or would have sounded live when you heard it. You know what I'm saying? So I haven't heard that from any of the Kendrick records. None of them have been piercing. I think Kendrick, when he plays into his strength as a writer, yes, we're going to commend him for it. But we can't discredit the approach that Drake is doing. Drake is very battle tested. And I
don't want to discredit it either.
Yo, we got some breaking news. Gentlemen. K-Dot has again. He has dropped again. Before we get into that, let me get this last super chat. Let me get Mad Max in. James Smith in the super chat says, rapping like you're trying to free the slaves is a diss now. Kendrick gave his whole family therapy. He's winning right now, clearly. Mad Max is in the building. Mad Max, clearly you got thoughts about this before we get into this new this new K-Dot record. What's on your mind, brother?
All right. Y'all can hear me, right?
Yep. We hear you good.
All right. I want to say
Mad Max.
What's good, Mike? I just want to say this. Both them dudes, I'm done with both of them. What they pulled last night with the Kendrick, you talking to his kids. Drake, you talking about his kid. I'm not with that. If Jay-Z could lose a battle for Super Ugly, I don't want to hear none of you guys praising none of these dudes for what they just pulled off. I mean, if Drake is really what you saying with the underage chicks, I mean, why are you putting that on wax? Send it to the police. I mean, respectfully. I just want to, like, if that's true, that's not information for entertainment. That's information that's need to be like really dealt with.
Right. That's what
right. And
Yep.
and then Drake, I need proof too. I mean, Kendrick alleged that he got an 11-year-old daughter. I need proof. I don't believe that Dave Free stuff. You need to give me proof of that. You just can't be saying that type of stuff. Y'all went from battling to defamation of character. Like, that was crazy. So they both cornballs to me. Drake always been a cornball to me, but Kendrick's always been fake to me too. But you know that's out the way.
If you had to pick, Mad Max, if you had to pick a guy, who would you say is winning this right now?
Well, I didn't hear the new Kendrick thing, so he's dropped again, which kind of seems
like I told Super Dupe and I told Mike earlier, man, and I told Vay, man, he might as well damn near put out an album now. Shit, he just like the fifth.
If he dropped again, was the Family Matters joint that like serious to him?
Wait a minute, he done dropped again. I'm sitting there going to the store
right now. Axon right now. He's dropping the record right now.
I done went to the store and this nigga done dropped again, man. Listen, man, I know
he's ready for war.
Ain't coming out with an album.
Kendrick said he ain't gonna stop.
He ready for war, man.
Go ahead and drop an album now, man.
Kendrick said he's not gonna stop.
But my question is this: if he dropped again, was Family Matters that like what? No. Now it sounds like it's true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Family Matters was not that deep.
That was true.
Hold on. To add to what Max is saying, I wouldn't say that shows that what he's saying on Family Matters is true, but it's showing that what he said on Family Matters struck a vein. It struck a nerve. He has dropped 3 records in the last 24 hours, bro.
What nerve?
What you mean? I mean,
what nerve? I mean, Family Matters. I think Family Matters sounds good. But
that's why
when you
back me up with the actual lyrics, I got to pull them up here. He really dissected them. He just call him a hypocrite.
Man, let's go.
Fake
role. Where do we want to begin? All right, so to begin, number one, there's this notion that because Drake doesn't identify with the culture on a personal level, that his black card has been called into question. Number one, let's start with the creativity. He begins the song with the N word. Number one, that's the very first word you hear on the record. Number two, on the second beat, on the very first verse, he ends every verse with the N word, even though he's not going there. Now let's talk about what he actually.
He's black. His dad is black.
Right. So and what he's ultimately showing you is that you are in no position to speak for who has a black card. I represent the culture as well. I represent a part of it. People are still going to celebrate me because I'm relevant based on my talent, and that is bulletproof. We can't take that away from him. Let me keep going. Number one, he called out Drake's real life not aligning with the social, politically conscious themes that he explores in his music. You can say that somebody asked the question, oh, rapping like you're trying to get the slaves free is a bad thing. You are purposely miscontextualizing the line. The line is not suggesting that it's a bad thing. The line is pointing out hypocrisy. He's saying that you're rapping like you're trying to get the slaves free, but in real life, he's calling him out for not being the family man that that should represent, you know what I'm saying, a healthy, you know what I'm saying, earnest black man. Also, he says that you just acting like an activist, just make believe, won't even go back to your hood and plant the money tree, which is nice wordplay. But let's go back to the No Name situation. Remember when No Name and J. Cole got into their little public tango? What that all started from was No Name saying that your favorite top-selling conscious MCs won't even show up at a protest. She said she didn't call anybody out, but everybody with a brain that knows anything about the culture knows that she was talking about J. Cole and Kendrick, which is why J. Cole made the record he made. And it is true that we don't really see Kendrick taking public stances. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to, like, we can criticize Common for being politically correct, for being, you know, part of the Democratic establishment. We can talk about, you know what I'm saying, all these other artists who we feel like are whitewashed or they just doing things for Grammy bait. Kendrick is supposed to be the voice of the people. The reason why he had to come out with his last album and say, I am not your savior, was because of the very valid criticism that people like No Name put into the conversation, which is, well,
but Esquire,
it's time to ride. J. Cole was at, you know what I'm saying, when
Right.
Mike Brown was murdered in the streets. J. Cole was in Ferguson, touching the people, connecting with the people, ready to ride with the
Right.
people. You feel what I'm saying? J. Cole.
But how would
Go ahead.
how would she know? How would No Name know? Because if you're protests happen all around the country. So like I was in protests going all the way back to Occupy Wall Street, performing and doing all type of stuff. How would anybody know that though? Because No Name wasn't there. So she
One
would say,
second,
okay,
guys.
you're not
Can
really
I
about it.
interject real quick? I'm gonna drop out and listen to this song real quick, and I'm gonna jump right back in. All right, because I'm hearing people say it's whack. I'm hearing people say it's fire. I'm gonna drop out, listen to the song real quick, and I'm gonna jump right back in. It's cool.
Right.
Yeah,
All right, y'all keep it going though.
I hope it's fire though. I do.
Y'all keep it going.
I do hope it's fire.
At this point, he need to drop an album, man.
I get at Kendrick a lot, and it's no hate to him. It's really no hate. I don't want to hate another brother, but when he pulls the Hebrew Israelite card, and then he pulled the biracial "you ain't grow up" card. If you ever been to the Hebrew Israelites and they talk about you are what your father is.
Let me say this, man.
Hold on. They say what the Hebrew Israelites say is that you are what your father is, you are what your seed line is. So Kendrick needs to do a better job of flipping that. He just can't get that off where it's like confusing, where he's just where people can take it as biracial. Because at the end of the day, Kendrick, if you're a Hebrew Israelite, that means you are the descendant of the tribe of Judah. Drake's dad makes him also a descendant of the tribe of Judah. So you guys are of the same tribe. It's not like,
but
it's not like.
If we're realistic, though, like Drake said, your wife is mixed, right? So you're not as black as you say. But if we're being realistic, right? Going from the Hebrew Israelites or everybody, it's been 1,000 years, y'all. We all have been mixed with different races. I know that y'all may not want to hear that, but if we're gonna play this race thing, everybody has all the races in their family. So what are you gonna really attack? Now it sounds good. It sounds great.
But it's just something that they never should have brought into the battle. Kendrick never. He should have kept it as a I get the cosplaying thing, and I even get the biracial thing, but there's a better way to streamline that without people like now he can't say the N-word. Like once he got that bar off, it was like, all right, bro. That now you kind of like
Esquire. Let me ask you a question. Kind of piggyback on what Mad Max said. What did you think about that whole last show? That conversation.
But the reason why he said that, though.
Y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you, girl.
Yep.
Yeah, Esquire. Real quick before you go super duper. What did you think about the whole N-word conversation about Drake not being able to use it? I know Mike had a feeling about it. I know others in the chat had a feeling about it. What was your thought on that?
Man, that's a deeper conversation for me. Personally, I didn't think he was corny. I just felt like Kendrick opened himself up by saying it. Just in general, the N-word is a concept that black people black people in the world is divided on in general. You have really a generational divide. You have older black people that come from what you would call the bourgeois black class that feel like using the N-word, even if it's being used in a celebratory or entertainment-based fashion, is disrespectful to the origin of the word and struggles that our people had to do. Then you have some that are from like the more, the hip hop oriented culture that see it as us being able to take control of the word that was used against us and adding power to it. So we have to start. There's already a complex and divisive conversation to begin with. As it relates to Drake, man, we have to be honest, man. Like Drake, even if it is a valid criticism to say, because it's one that I've always made about Drake, that you rock with black artists all the time. You know what I'm saying? You've made a career off of thriving on black radio, but you don't really, ride for it. Not only do you not really show up physically, touch the people when there's things going on in our community, but you don't address it in your music. So that's a valid criticism. I can't work from that.
Drake can say whatever he wants about black people, but I can't say what I want about Drake. If I say what I want about Drake, I will be kicked off this internet. I will be kicked off any. I can't say what I want about Drake, but he could say the N-word. And I'm not saying Drake as a person, him specifically. I'm saying the group that he's from. If I say something about his group, I will be attacked and kicked off this internet. But his people could say whatever they want, because when they say the N-word, they're saying I own you, N-word. They're not saying N-word. Now, Drake is saying N-word, you my N-word. Drake is saying it as a brotherhood. He's a part of us. I'm not attacking you, Drake. But when your group says N-word, they're saying we own you, N-words.
Well, Leroy,
that's what Kendrick is saying.
Leroy, but you hold on, because I didn't really get.
Listen, man.
That's a better point.
You know what's crazy about the Drake thing? If you notice, and I've seen this on the Scuttlebutt online too. His mom's side of the family, or the group that his mom's side of the family's from, they don't really jack him either. Like that whole thing that's going on with the Palestinians, a lot of them are mad at Drake for that he hasn't spoken up. So we can't just be obtuse. Is Drake not saying it because he hasn't said a word about that either? And it's like it's starting to get like he doesn't want to be bothered with no political talk.
Right.
I'm just gonna throw that out there. I can't really like.
What's your thought? And Super Duper right after Esquire, and then Mike. Wait, Mike.
So I'm saying all that to say, number one, as far as is Drake using the N-word, it's all everybody's going to have a different perspective on it. Leroy, you said that is a valid point you raised, but if that's the point you want to raise, you have to point out the inherent this conundrum that exists within the hip hop community. Artists are promoted who use the N-word all the time by higher ups who don't look like them. They promote music to them for people that don't belong to the said class of N-words. They can use it in a derogatory manner. That's a risk that you run with any hip hop artist that gets promoted on a mass scale. That's true enough. So the point that I'm making here is that I get why Kendrick said that. I just feel like you open yourself up to being called a hypocrite in a lot of other ways, because he pointed out something. That there are some additional attacks that Drake got off, and I'm not just trying to do this to rock for Drake. I'm just trying to set the record straight, because I feel like there's so much bias and people have spent days dissecting every single Kendrick Lamar bar that's come out in the last 3 or 4 days that we just listened to Drake stuff one time is how he said nothing, so we don't talk about it. But Drake spoke on that. The third verse opens with Kendrick just opened his mouth. Somebody go get him a Grammy right now. I've been following this show for 3 years, and he said exactly what they've been saying on According to Hip Hop for the last 3 years, and that is that the media is. I have Kendrick in my top 10 rappers of all time. Let me set the record straight on that too. But Kendrick is a media darling. He certainly is. When you have Billboard records putting him as the #2 rap artist of all time over the likes of Nas, Tupac, KRS-One, and so many other people that have done just as much, if not more, for the culture, and have done it over a longer span and have made records that are just bigger and more impactful in the grand scheme of hip hop, that speaks to that. Kendrick just won a Grammy for Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Now, I will say, out of all the other albums it was nominated against, it probably did deserve the win because it was the most well put together album. But it's not a prolific piece of work. It's a great theme, but the execution of it is very flawed. It is Kendrick's worst album. Kendrick makes music that a lot of people would consider to be Grammy bait. You can consider that to be a bad thing, or you can consider it to be like a prolific avant-garde expression of artistry. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on where you land on the spectrum. But Drake has spoken to that dynamic of they hate to see me lit, and Kendrick is supposed to be celebrated as this, this grand, expressive, insanely creative artist that he gets what's called the artistic benefit of the doubt. Meaning, if we don't like it the first time we listen, that means, we must be missing something. We need to go back and listen to it again. That last entendre went up.
Right.
That might be true, but if it's not great and it doesn't connect on first listen, there's value to that as well. That's just my opinion.
Real quick, Super Duper, jump in for Mike. Go, Super Duper. What was your thought?
Hey,
can you hear us, brother?
Hey, I was gonna say that the reason why he was saying that they don't want to hear him say nigga no more is because it's a video of Drake. Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you, bro.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we got you.
It's a video out there. It's a video out there, Drake, when he was young, saying nigger with the hard ER on there. So that's why Kendrick is saying that. He hasn't been saying nigga. He was saying nigger in the videos. You got to watch it.
Right. Yeah,
So
you
y'all
said
can pull it up and find it. Google or go to YouTube.
yeah.
I
You
sent it to you.
You sent it. I was going to use it in the montage for on Monday's show. Yeah, that's on the montage on Monday's show. Yeah, we're going to use that.
I seen that. I seen that. I seen that. It wasn't. It was. It was just corny to me. It wasn't like. It wasn't like he was like, "Oh, I don't deal with these and with the ER." He just said it with the. It was. It was like he didn't know how to say it. But I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, he didn't know how to say it. He didn't know how to say it.
Yo, I heard this song, y'all.
All right,
Okay.
Mike D, what's the song like, man?
Man, this is interesting because Musta did the beat, right? And so it sounds like Kendrick's attempt to make a banger in this battle too, you know, kind of handle all, you know, realms of what's going on. Now he's going really hard on the whole pedophile thing. He called him, you know, said he's a certified pedophile. He said, what he said was like, you know, trying to strike a chord. It's probably he using these different voices that might not catch. Y'all hear me now? He's using a lot of those Kendrick voices. What's up?
So roll your window up or something. You breaking up?
Oh, he's doing the Nicki Minaj thing again. All the multiple voices. We doing Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, he's doing all the voices and all that, and I don't think they're going to connect in the way that they maybe should. But one of the parts that really connected to me, and maybe it's that bias, but on the last verse, he calls him a colonizer and breaks down how he uses Atlanta to resurge his career whenever he needs to. And he basically called him a colonizer of Atlanta. Specifically, and he went artist for artist. He went Lil Baby. I don't even think he even mentioned Yachty in this one, but Yachty's from Atlanta too. He mentioned 2 Chainz. He mentioned Future, and he just broke that down in a way where it's like, yeah, you're leeching off of this city in particular, and really he could do that for like 2 or 3 more cities if he wanted to. So I think the creativity again. I think the creativity again is there for Kendrick as a writer, but the biggest part that I think might not connect with this one is the execution of it all. But again, even when he's in trying to be radio mode, he's still in concept mode, you know. And I think
he said he wouldn't connect.
Yeah, I think
he said in the last song he wouldn't connect.
There's a lot of standing going on both sides. And I think this is the kind of record that Kendrick fans are going to love, but the people who are rooting for Drake in this are going to discredit. I don't think
Kendrick
needed to put this one out right now, in my opinion.
He said, I guess integrity is lost when metaphors don't reach you. Kendrick said, I guess integrity is lost when metaphors don't reach you. What he's saying is, yeah, y'all going to pick Drake because my metaphors don't reach you. You know what I mean? He said that in the last song.
Crazy.
When Meet the Grams.
Michael Williams with the super chat says Drake is toast. Kendrick has eviscerated him on all levels. No one has ever been down this much on a disc scoreboard. This that dropped is just fire. Dang, well, Michael Williams.
Michael Williams is also a Kendrick fan. So I mean,
I'm trying to be unbiased about this because honestly, I'm more of a Kendrick fan. We're gonna go to the music, but I don't have a dog in this fight. And a record like this is, I'm gonna be honest. I think based on the records that we've heard over the past couple of days, this one's probably the lowest on the totem pole, but it's still effective in what it's doing. And Kendrick doesn't sound like he's super serious, which is good too.
You have a dog in this fight, though, Mike, because in The Art of War, assuming that everybody has read The Art of War, it says, if you're at war, control the moral law. What is the moral law? It means the people will be in accordance with you, and they'll even go into danger with you if they feel you hold moral ground. And what Kendrick does for the hip-hop purists is he holds moral ground. He checked off that box in The Art of War. It's going to be very hard to go against that box.
That's fair, you know, and as a hip-hop fan, as a person who puts lyrics first, I guess I would have to go with Kendrick.
He lost that, though. He lost that moral compass thing. If you beat your wife, no disrespect to him. If you did put your hands on your wife, and there was another thing in 2011 where they said you beat up a dude and you beat up the dude's chick. If that's true, then he has no moral high ground. Because what Kendrick does on a lot of tracks, and nobody brought this up. Remember when he was battling Big Sean, and him and Big Sean had words?
Okay.
And then what did he do? I'll big pun your pun. Oh, you a scared little, I'll slap you. And Kendrick always goes to this gangster thing. And I think what ticked Drake off is on like that. He talked about I'm burning tattoos and I'm snatching chains. Drake took that as this guy's always going to bodily harm and threats, and you're supposed to be the morale guy. So Kendrick, like he can't. You just gotta stop, bro. You have to
But
stop.
Mad Max, all of us, if you rap, period, violence is a part of your music. All rappers, every one of you. What Kendrick did with his wife, I don't know what Kendrick did with his wife, y'all, but I know that's his wife. They're still married. I don't know if she, but as far as violence go, or they may be still together, I don't know. But as far as violence goes, every single rapper, even the most safe, has violence in their music.
No, I hear you, Leroy, but what I'm saying is when Big Sean in particularly had his war awards with Kendrick, and he's talking about I'm tired of all these guys rapping fast. They sound like one big asthma attack. When I play the Is Back, it's trash, and this is who you call the savior of rap. Kendrick didn't even go back to just lyrical warfare. He just went to if I see your punk ass in LA, I'm gonna slap the hell out. I'm gonna slap this ish out you. He never starts with just war, like he doesn't start with he doesn't start with lyrical wordplay. He starts with yo, you understand I'm from Compton and my granddaddy's a Pyru and I will and I know dudes and we get like that. Like he brings that off. He doesn't come with the lyrical I'm a concept. Then he hits you with that first, and then he comes with the I'm on the moral high ground because I'm at peace with myself and I've already. It's like, dude, stop it. It is what people talking about. It's like the duality thing got to chill. Like you on that Tupac thing, and we get it, but you. It's like you trying to be the intelligent thug. Right. You don't. I can't. I got the intelligent thug serious no more, bro. It's 2024. We seen that with Pac. We seen them get bodied. We seen that kind of with Nipsey Hussle. We see them get bodied. We can't take the intelligent. I'm a thug in the street, and then I'm still spiritual. Like I kind of get it. I understand it. I really do. But you have to understand when you battling Drake or when you was doing that with Big Sean. You should have kept it. You should have never went to snatchings and tattoos. He could have easily smoked Drake on like that without bringing that. He was already bodying him with the entendre flips for all my dogs and all that other stuff. I mean, that's
but he did that with Drake. With Drake with the first two songs, he's not going crazy on Drake. He kept it lyrical for the most part on Euphoria and 616. It's mostly lyrical. He didn't go crazy like. I'm gonna do something to you.
I'm about to slide real quick, guys, but I do think John needs to get in the room too. I will say this though. I'm gonna rank the four. I'm gonna say, Meet the Graham, 616. Then I'm gonna go Euphoria, and then Not Like Us is probably gonna be fourth. But they're all pretty strong. They got their moments, and I got Kendrick up right now. But yeah, we got to get John Nori in this thing.
All right.
I appreciate you guys, man. Yeah.
Appreciate it, Mike.
I'm about to jump on and do a short too, man. Get ready for Monday, man. We're gonna have Mickey Facts on Mike Check, and we're gonna really break down all of these lyrics, man. And I'm sure we're gonna have another song before Monday's show too.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Shout out to Mick. Shout out to Mickey, man. You know what I mean? Roy said something about what Mickey perceived to be about his son, and Mickey went off the handle. You know what I mean? When you bring up somebody's family, it can get messy. You know what I mean? And that's just I'm disappointed that it got messy because I wanted to see it be about lyricism, about artistry, and going at somebody's family. I just think it's a bad move on both sides, Kendrick's and Drake's. I think that's a bad move, man. I think y'all should pull
women, no children. That was the OG mantra, man. We got another super chat in here. Rigger 49, it says K-Dot is on demon time. Me at I can't. AG, that's not devil. Stop it. Dot just dropped another track about 10 minutes ago. How do you address a pedo? Well, I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Esquire, I reached out to you and Super Duper to get the real time reaction of the record. I saw you listening to it. What is your thoughts, sir?
I really feel like my assessment is kind of half baked right now, just because I haven't had a chance to listen to it. You know what I mean? Quiet settings, really digest it. But upon what I heard, it was solid, man. I mean, I think it speaks to some of what I was talking about before with the other records were lacking, which is entertainment value. He kind of cured that by getting a DJ Mustard beat. We'll see how much it connects, over time. But he said some things like like you pointed out with the United Colleagues, the colonizer bar, you run to Atlanta, anytime you need to check balance, he said some things on it. We'll see, what the impact of it looks like. I do think that there's a risk that, as great as it is for us as fans to continue to get all this music in real time, really at this point, we've got 4 songs in 24 hours. I mean, this is pretty incredible.
It's wartime.
Yeah, man, we living through a historic moment, man. All fandom aside, but I think time will tell just how impactful or how effective it will prove to be for him to drop all these songs back to back. But I think Mad Max posed a very valid question when he asked, if you say that Drake record really didn't do anything, then why feel the need to continue to drop all these? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if it was light work, you would take the family true enough. But if it was light work and you feel like Meet the Grams was that much better and it was the depth mode that people say it is, I would have just let it ride. That would have been my ether. But I think the fact that he continues to drop recognizes that he knows he's still more left.
No, Drake is Drake. If you're gonna attack Drake, you might want to keep attacking, because Drake is not just the regular guy, the regular rapper. Drake is the potentially Michael Jackson of rap. So you want to attack and then attack and then attack and then attack and then you want to keep attacking.
Hey, the song.
Now, if Nipsey was here, we talked about Nipsey. Nipsey didn't have a problem with Drake at all.
Hey, the song fire, man.
However, Nipsey was going against a system in which there is a group over hip hop that delegates what goes on and controls the economics of hip hop. So even though Nipsey didn't have a problem with Drake, he did recognize there was something going on, and he attacked that. And Kendrick recognizes that as well. Shout out to Nip. You know what I mean? And people that know him personally. You know what I mean?
Hey, real quick before you go, Super Duper, Driftwood Darko, he's such a critic and a producer. Why don't you hop on the call and talk about how we can improve our show, since you're so critical? I think
the song kind of fire, man.
You might work for the opposition here, but we do.
The only problem I got with the song is the beat. The beat.
Go ahead, Super Duper.
He said the beat. He said he's not feeling the beat.
You're not feeling
he said the song kind of popping, but he had the beat. He's not really feeling the beat like that. But again, y'all, these are both Kendrick and Drake are both super talented. So not taking nothing away from either side. But Drake is under attack. What Drake is doing right now, Drake is coming across as, hey, I'm the cool guy. I got more money. I got more fame. I got more women. I got more hits. All of that is great. What Kendrick is saying is, I don't need none of that. I'm not interested in none of that, and I'm not moved with none of that. That's going to be hard to beat, because Kendrick don't care about your hits, and he could ride that. Kendrick don't care about your riches. Kendrick ain't broke.
No doubt. Yo, we got John Nori in the building. What's up? What's good, brother?
What's going on? I didn't think I'll be coming back here for another victory lap, but since we here, I might as well take it.
All right. Talking that talk right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I told you he's going to character assassinate him. And I see a lot of, you know what it is? I'm noticing there's a lot of haters out here, and I get it. Kendrick is not the guy y'all wanted to be the number one dude in hip hop, but it is what it is, my man. You got to earn the spot. He earned the spot. West Coast guy. I know it hurts us East Coast people. We got to see the West run it for a little bit, but it is what it is. We had 50 back in the day. It's Kendrick's time. It's his time.
It'll come back around.
It'll come back around. It's his time. There's no reason to hate on this guy. And I'm not dying on the hill. I'm not dying on the OVO hill. Nah. Not when we got Kendrick right there. We got to take that's the guy right now. He's walking on him. He got the LA local joint out right now. He done read his soul. He done put him in the tombstone last night. Did y'all not experience what happened last night?
Yep, I was there.
Did you not feel the energy?
Yeah, man.
That is hip hop. We was all in the club watching them two brothers go with the mic. That's what we watched. Pause. We was all watching that.
Yeah.
We was all in the club watching them both go at it. That was a moment that Kendrick gave us.
Yeah.
He was on his ass. It is what it is, man. This is over. Drake ain't got nothing for him. His last joint sounded like, I mean, the best joint he got sounded like 21 wrote every syllable, verb, and noun in it. I mean, he don't write. He don't have any substance. His hits are not hitting no more. They're kind of like button. You know, it's like the run's over. He's out of here. It is what it is. He'll still be a great artist. He'll still have all the great music from back in the day, but you know, it's a body bag.
Even if he hits with a monstrous club hit, what does that do with somebody like Drake who don't even care about your monstrous club hit? He don't care. Kendrick is good. Kendrick is good. Shout out LA. Kendrick is good.
It is what it is. We gonna be back though. Don't y'all got it now. But you know, Kendrick is my age. We gonna be back. Don't worry.
He might be back. Drake might drop tonight. But yo, E, you got E in the building. What's good, E?
Hey, what's good, fellas? How's it going, y'all?
What's
going on, bro? Thoughts on this?
What up?
What's up, Mad Max? What's up, dog? But anyway, okay. So I listened to the new one just now, and I think what K Dot is doing is he's playing Drake's game better than Drake is playing it right now. So he hits you with the dark shit. He hits you with the long 7-minute, lyrical shit. Then he hits you with the quick one, and then now this one's more of a bop. And to what Leroy was saying earlier, where he said K Dot doesn't care about the numbers. I think he's playing into it. So if you notice, the first drop was on Instagram. The other drop, he dropped it right away on platforms, the highest rated one of the year, streaming numbers wise. Like that's been number 1 5 times in a row, right? Then he drops this one on YouTube yesterday night, and it has more views than Drake shit. So I think the more angle outside of the whole pedophile stuff and everything else, just from a real world standpoint, is him attacking Drake in every single oh, this is what you're known for, back to back. Let me get back to that. And now I'm back to that again, right? So now he's antagonizing. So this last song, it sounds like he's dancing on. Like it sounds like, man, I'm jabbing you up now. Like we're still in round 8. This is like, remember when Floyd fought McGregor? And by like round 6 or 7, you knew that Floyd was just toying with him a little bit, right? This is what this last track feels to me. And I clearly have K Dot up, and that's not even a knock on Drake. I think Drake's last one was dope. I think what I'm judging Drake and K Dot on right now is they both made allegations that aren't verified, right? So, and I'm an avid Battlehead fan, battle rap. So sometimes you use fake angles, but it's about how effective are they, right? And if the other one is using real ones and using fake ones, then that plays into it. So neither one have verified anything about beating a wife or pedophile. That's heavy shit to put on people, the jacket, right? To put on people. So I'm just going based off execution. And Drake from the beginning, this is what I feel is out of character for him. That first song that he put out, it leaked. He didn't mean to drop it, but then he reverted. Then he drops the AI stuff, and he got pushback for it. And, we don't really like that as hip hop heads and everything else, right? Then he finally, last night or Thursday, he was supposed to drop something. And this was known that he was dropping some shit. He didn't. Then he let K Dot drop that 16 on his head. Then he comes with the video, but he didn't think about, K Dot coming right back at him right away. And now he's getting hit over the head again, right? So masterful stuff from K Dot for me as far as the approach and everything. I think what Drake did normally, if it was just a traditional battle, this last song that he did would be way more popping, would be way more talked about. But the way that K Dot's been getting at him, especially that last track, if any of that shit is true, I think it's game over because it's nasty. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to give them both the benefit of the doubt that neither one of them have confirmed anything. Drake denied that, but he denied the other kid too, right? So
but listen,
I can only go off approach. So I definitely got K Dot up right now. And this last one, I feel you on the beat. It's not the best one for me. It's a DJ Mustard. He's always been kind of iffy for me. But for what he's getting done and calling him a colonizer and sticking to his theme, Drake needs to do something. He can't just let this shit slide. This isn't something that you can just sit on and not, reference or come back to. He has to respond. Not right away, but close enough, because now K-Dot's putting that pressure on him. The man just dropped the fastest response record ever. You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't call
all that 2-week time frame stuff. He set that standard. Now he got to live by it.
I wouldn't call Drake a pedo or nothing like that, because that's an attack that I don't know nothing about. So I wouldn't call him an attack. But if I look at the rap game and I look at the hypersexualization of black women by people of a different race that are in these executive offices who cater towards Drake because of the numbers, then I'm going to attack Drake if I'm at war with him based on certain principles that he may not be a pedophile, but I'm attacking you in a way that I can't attack these execs because I know that you're their guy. So I'm going to attack you with the vitriol that I would attack them with, because the reality is there is a hypersexualization, and until we get a certain balance with the opposite sex in hip hop, we will always be fucked up. That's economically as well, and they know that.
No doubt. Real quick, the super chats. Mad Max said, "Nah, I just heard it. Dot should have kept that. I barely could hear what he said." Ridger 49 says, "I meant to say Dot is on demon time against the devil. Dot has his Batman hat with 2 fingers up, twisted in the middle." Ill Magic says, "K-Dot is showing that he can turn off the morale therapy Kenny and bring back that Kung Fu Kenny." And Mad Max is back. LP said that it was like that. You say, Mad Max, it wasn't like that. So,
bro,
and then John Norris said it was like that. So where you at with it, Max?
That was not it, bro. That
Mad Max too.
Bro, that's how he sounded. I do like the OVO. I'll give him that. He has some funny joints. I'll give Kendrick that. The OVO ho. That was A1. Hide your daughter.
Yeah.
That was A1. But Kendrick,
like he's standing on it. He's standing on it. The beat. I still got to listen to it more times and everything else. But it's for what I think he's getting done. Nah, you're crazy. You're calling it goofy, but you're hyping it up.
Yo, it sounds like some Looney Tunes joint.
Nah, man.
I look like that was. Is this Kendrick or Bugs Bunny? Come on, this sounds like some Daffy Duck raps, man. We're not doing that.
Absolutely not, man.
Hey, 616, he was really rapping, though. He was using his real voice, and he was really rapping. Even in them other things, Kendrick comes from an era where it's about style. It's not just about your voice. It's about how many different styles can you do in a short space. That's the era he comes from. We're talking about the late 2000s, right? So he's doing what he does. You know what I mean? But he got on his real rap shit. 616 is real rap. And that's what Drake is not going to be able to deal with, as great as Drake is. You know?
Yo, and then one thing that you guys...
That was actually hard. I like 616.
It was.
That was a good one.
And then so was Drake's stuff. It's like we're talking about K-Dot a lot because he's dominating the conversation because he's putting so much material out. But Drake did his thing too. But let's not forget, because I think what's being lost on people, this is kind of back with like when Jay dropped that Euro J shit, but everybody scooped it under the rug. Drake dropped the second thing where he's mimicking Kendrick's rap and flow and all of that kind of stuff. Like he dropped it a little bit after, but nobody's really talking about it. So to your point, Mad Max, it's like K-Dot, I think when people listen to this song, they'll make up their mind. If people don't like it, I can understand, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's cool for what it's doing. But
K-Dot's fighting the AI.
Right. If we're talking about corniness, this man literally dropped another diss that nobody's talking about where he's imitating and rapping in Kendrick's voice. This is what I'm talking about, the missteps that Drake is having right now with the AI diss. With dropping that mockery.
You want to know why that is? Is what I told y'all before.
Like, we talk about succotash. Like, what are you talking about, bro? How you dictate? Like, what? How you?
It's what I was saying since the beginning.
K-Dot actually rapping on his own stuff, on a different beat, hook, everything, the whole nine. Completely different style than the rest of his rap songs. But then Drake dropped whatever the fuck that was last night. And even the not only knock on the diss that Drake dropped yesterday, not the goofy Kendrick Lamar shit, is that, bro, the main event was set. It was just y'all two. ASAP Rocky. The only person that even responded to pull-ups was Rick Ross, and everybody's pretty much dismissing him anyway. There was no reason to fit that middle song in between this and Kate. It should only be about Kendrick. But this is his history. When it was Duppy, it was more about Kanye, right? So he has a history
That's not
of
really
adding people to his shit. I mean, that's pretty much what's known to be the case, right? There's a reason why Pusha's like, yo, don't talk about Kanye. I want all the smoke. Just like K Dot saying, I'll take Pharrell smoke. I want all of it. So, bro, you got people literally telling you, man, stop bringing other people into our shit. It's just us. Nobody was coming at Drake for him to have to add them into his song. Drop that secondly. You didn't even need to drop the whole imitating Kendrick shit. You could have dropped a whole separate freestyle to diss everybody else. Or like Jay-Z said, you only get half a bar. They should have all just got half a bar at that point. It's the main event. Everybody's been like, no, get out of the way, man. Let's clear it up. Just make it Drake. And then you still chose to add somebody else to your stuff. So, I mean, it's just from an execution standpoint, he's taking the L. I don't think that that's debatable. Now, let's say what he's saying is true and what K-Dot is saying is lies. That can flip it. But in regards to execution, timing, quality of the records, because, again, even if you guys don't like this K-Dot record, go back and listen to this Kendrick imitation and the AI stuff, and you still can't say that K-Dot has the worst diss records out of the bunch of what's come out, especially when you start talking about numbers and impact. Oh yeah, which one?
That last one the one he just dropped, that is the worst joint both of them put out.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap. We can't do this. Stop the cap.
No,
bro, you listened to it one time. How many times have you even listened to it, bro? Like, how is that possible?
That song broke the internet. Stop the cap.
I'm very passionate for that one listen. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, DJ says Mad Max is really talking about Dot, but Drake comes with that BS singing shit. That's insane and not even being honest.
I'm just saying, like, that song, the Family Matters song is like, it's barely listenable outside of that middle part, and he wasted the best beat for other people.
He got to get at Rick Ross, though. He had to get at Rick Ross. Rick Ross came out sideways, so he had to give Rick Ross some bars. You know?
Hold on. Yeah, but he didn't have to give all them people some bars. I mean, Euphoria is being played on inside the NBA. What's on your mind right now, buddy? You use that hard beat to talk about the others? You in a superstar match right now. You don't take time for the others.
Rick Ross is on it. Rick Ross is on his head out here on social media. He had to give Ross some bars, man. He said he's going to read him the Miranda rights.
Supposedly your game gave him some turbulence. I don't think he needs any more bars.
No, and you know that honestly, ASAP got it bad. Like, I don't even knock the actual bars that Drake is coming with at the other ones. I just think that the table was set. It was y'all two. It was Hulk Hogan versus The Rock or whoever, Ultimate Warrior. We didn't need nobody running in, dog. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to go and try to hit Jimmy Hart off the fucking pedestal, dog. It don't matter. It's just y'all two. You know what I'm saying? Like, what we doing here?
No, yo, we're gonna wrap up things, man. Because we got a lot of things going on. We're gonna start with Esquire and work our way through the panel. Esquire, what's your closing thoughts here, bro?
You muted up.
Yeah, I got you.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, my closing thoughts to recap what I said in the beginning. This is a battle of epic proportions, and at the end of the day, people that like what they like are going to be predisposed to side with the artist that gives them what they want. If you want deep lyrics, if you want stuff that's going to be clever that you have to come back to, you know what I'm saying? You're going to side with Kendrick. If you want records that are catchy, if you want one-liners, if you want things that people are going to remember and that are going to be impactful and play more over time, you're probably going to think records are good. Personally, I think this is a very evenly matched battle up to this point. I will revisit that thought once I have a chance to go back and fully listen to this Not Like Us record in full and dissect it. Based on everything up to that point, I would give Drake the slightest of edges, but it's subject to change, and I'm here for it. I'm just a hip-hop fan. No bias. I'm just calling it like I see it, and I'm happy that there's a legitimate discourse. Happy to be a part of the show.
No doubt, man. Appreciate it, Esquire.
Appreciate you.
What's your thoughts, brother?
Classic moment in hip hop. I think this went from like a mid battle to actually something historic. And I think K Dot is up. I think Drake can come back, but he needs to. And then I'll say this, because we've been on this chat for years and we champion Griselda and Ransom and all these underground motherfuckers that rap on the same beats and everything else. The Kendrick and Drake of the underground was Benny and Freddie, and they Instagrammed. So regardless of how this ends up being, and whether Drake or K Dot takes the L, they actually put on for hip hop. So I think that's bigger than anything else. I think when people look back, I actually agree with Esquire. At this point, you know the kind of diss track Drake is making, and up until this recent one, I feel like you had a clear direction of where K Dot is going, but I think K Dot is starting to show that I'm going to kill you in every kind of way possible, is the way I'm taking this last one. But it's a preference thing, in my opinion. And the only thing that's really going to separate it is if, at this point, if Drake doesn't respond and the momentum is up on K Dot, or if the quality of what's being said is factual or not. But big ups to them. And big disappointments to Benny and all these other cats that rap about killing motherfuckers in their raps and don't want to actually make battle records, you know? So shout out to them.
No doubt. No, we appreciate you, LP. Check us back on Monday, man. John Nori, what's good? What's your thoughts?
Sir.
Bro?
Hey, historic night in hip hop. It's been great. It was starting off kind of slow, but we got to the kill zone, man. This is it. You know, a lot of shots are being fired. A lot of hits are being thrown, hooks, jabs. I mean, this has been great. This has been great for hip hop. And you know, outside of the allegations, I mean, so far some of Drake's stuff is being brought up again, so I don't know. But outside of all of that, this has been great, and I enjoyed every second of it. I just want people to just try to be objective. I know we have our favorites and everything, but this is the culture talking. If the culture is talking, the culture is talking. And whoever loses, got to take that L, and I'll see you on the next one. All right?
No doubt. Yes, John,
sure.
we check back with us on Monday, if not before something else drop. We appreciate you.
Salute.
Mad Max, what's good, man? What's your final thoughts on the situation tonight?
All right. I was iffy on the battle. Now it's entertaining, I guess. I mean, I'm still not entertained by the allegations. They need to relax. I don't want to hear no more pedophile talk and, you know, beating wife talk. We gotta leave that alone. But it's entertaining. I'll say this about Kendrick, and I'll say this about Drake. They showing me they got at least some level of heart. They got some heart. Like LP said, you know, Benny and Freddie Gibbs, you guys played the goofy meme game. All right. Underground hip hop is dead. It seems like mainstream hip hop is back. Dudes was playing the meme game. Drake and Kendrick went to war. It's Russia versus U.S.
Right.
These guys just dropped it. This is the nukes that they was warning us 50 years ago, 75 years ago. This was like when the old heads had to go do bomb threats, so they was hiding under. And like, nah, this is kind of funny. I respect it though. I respect it.
No doubt. The drill, the nuclear bomb drill, we had to get under the desk, you know what I mean?
No doubt. No. Leroy, what's your thoughts? Final thoughts of the evening, brother?
My final thoughts is I appreciate the good, the bad, and the ugly. Thank you, Kendrick and Drake, for giving us some hip hop to dig into, the layers, the bars. But both of y'all are very super talented MCs, Drake and Kendrick. So I just think that we could leave the women and the children out of it, and we could just get to the bars, man. You know what Kendrick represents? He represents a purist standpoint. What I think Drake. I think you have the talent to combat that, but make things very clear. We're dealing with bars and we're dealing with text. Kendrick is looking at it as we have a group that has come in and saying that they are the people that are the original to these texts. Kendrick is saying, no, we are the ones. You know what I mean? And you are copying, riding our wave, taking our different flavors, and then saying that you are those people. You know what I mean? So be very clear. This is bigger than just throwing certain darts. You know what I mean? Kendrick is looking at it as something very different. And I think, Drake, you may want to get in your bag and lean off the women and children. Appreciate you, though.
Yo, it's another night in hip hop, man. Things happen in real time. Life comes at you fast, man. So we don't know. Another joint may come out tonight. Who knows? Drake might drop something. We about to check out more in depth this new K Dot record. Again, if I'm looking at it from a totality perspective, I still got 616 in LA as the number one K Dot record right now. Right. Then I would have to go with I hate to say I gotta go Euphoria. I haven't heard this new joint yet. We gotta see where that goes in. But I might go with Mike D. Mike D said he had it fourth. I'm gonna put it fourth.
Can I say one more thing?
Go ahead, man, Max. Go ahead.
Drake, after hearing that Kendrick record, if he wants to play games like this, you better go run 5 a.m. to Toronto and get back in that boom bap bag. If you get on some 8 p.m. in New York and just, talk.
Yeah, man.
If he's trolling you like this, troll him back.
Right. See, and that's the point, right? Like, he needs to respond to this, because when you hear the record, you're going to know that he's not being all the way serious, and he's fucking like he's teasing it. Everything that we thought Drake was doing to Kendrick, it's the opposite right now. But he's doing it in music form. He's not going to get on Instagram. He's not going to troll him and put his manager's face on YouTube or anything like that. He's trolling him on record. That's the only way that we're going to hear anything from K Dot is on record. And I don't think Drake, I think that they just said Drake turned off his comments on Instagram. So that might be working against him. He needs to drop some heat. That's all I'm going to say. Regardless of how we feel about the record. It's the principle of it all, in my opinion. But I agree with Mad Max on that. Yeah.
It's the principle, man. And my boy J. Cole is nowhere to be found. He's disqualified himself. But it's going to get interesting. It's going to get interesting, man. It's going to be interesting next few days. I think this is good for hip hop. This is healthy. It's got the pod space activated. It's got the legacy media activated. It's got a lot of people activated. Even my wife is kind of weighing in on the situation. The females, they always going to side with Drake. You know what I mean? Even hip hop heads, wives, so they side to Drake. But she's really not feeling the K Dot records. But we're going to get into it, man. We're going to set something up on Rumble next week. Well, we're going to take it to the music, man. We're going to play some Drake records. We're going to play some K Dot records. We're going to go through these records on Rumble. We listen to them together as a family. Shout out to everybody else. Shout out to the haters and the bots. We're going to keep it moving. This is the Weekend Rhyme. We'll see you on Mic Check on Monday. Keep living. Check out Cat Williams tonight on Netflix, guys. Peace.
Oh, yeah. Peace.
In the morning with a big grin on my face. Took off my do-rag so I can brush down the ice cold waves. Tap shorty next to me wearing that micro braids. She was choosing my temple face, so this morning is when she lays. Hey, they were on the strap even before we did all the facts. She's taking Decatur, but she lives in my lap. Rap. My nigga Rio had to put a drive on the map. We walking really slow because we got the south on our back. Yeah, my nigga flawless in the cranberry color lack. With that I fit with the matching shoes and the A-town hat. Act up if you wanna, you get put down on your back. Getting stumped out by like 8 Air Force Ones with the loosest strap. You ain't even in my race, acting like that you running rap. So stay in your lane when you speaking up on your tracks. And check out the shades and Dr. J's, cause I'm cool as the ice cubes and my pink lemonade, okay?
Pink lemonade, matching sauce, and I'm polo down with a bomb of rocks in my pearl.